Morning, brothers and sisters.
Morning.
Today's reflection is on a letter that our Father Francis wrote to the entire order. St. Francis was a saint that was always looking at the signs of the times, especially to meet the needs of the church. Precisely because he wanted his brothers to pay attention to the things that were standing against Christ's vision for the church. According to Father Michael Blastic, OFM, Francis wrote this letter to the entire order to address attitudes, behaviors, and values connected to clericalism in the order. Some brothers priests in the order had a clerical mentality that was affecting the development of his brotherhood and others around them, especially with regard to the observance of the rule, recitation of the divine office, and priestly ministry, in particular the celebration of the Eucharist. This priestly approach among some brothers priests was affecting the internal relationship among themselves due to a kind of class distinction growing in the order. This sense of clericalism in the order was building walls that divided the Franciscan brotherhood, rather than building a brotherhood that builds bridges between brothers and others for the betterment of God's people. Therefore, Francis, in seeing this division between his brothers and inspired by the humility of Christ in the Eucharist, wrote this letter because he did not want to take any chances to allow his brothers to create unnecessary divisive frictions among each other, the church, and the lay people. He wanted a brotherhood that was in solidarity with others and that included all the brothers of the entire order. Additionally, Francis' desire for his brotherhood was that each brother, regardless of their call as brother priests and religious brothers, needed to possess humility as the highest virtue of holiness. This is what he says in this letter. Brothers, look at the humility of Christ in the Eucharist and pour out your hearts before him. Humble yourselves that you may be exalted by him. Hold back nothing of yourselves for yourselves, that he who gives himself totally to you may receive you totally. When a Franciscan brotherhood delights in imitating the humility of Christ in the Eucharist, who gave himself to us as a gift, simply a gift of love, we begin accepting others and our brothers as a gift from God, even if they might not be what we expect. See around ourselves in this chapel. We have brothers from many nationalities, different countries, and different values, different languages. And we have come together as one brotherhood. And this has to be a reason to rejoice, because we are the example of the brotherhood that Francis wanted when he wrote this letter. I rejoice this day because I'm part of this brotherhood. At the same time, this letter has challenged me to gaze upon Jesus Christ's humility, his humility in the Eucharist, in various points, especially in the political situation that is happening in Dominican Republic between the Haitians and my own people in Dominican Republic. There's a tremendous division between these two countries. And through looking at the humility of Christ, I questioned myself and I said, do I really believe what Christ is calling me to do in the Eucharist? And I said, I questioned myself, because when I noticed what was happening in Haiti with the Dominicans, the first thing that came to my mind, we need to build a wall. We need to get them out of the country. They cannot remain in our country. But then by reading this letter and what I said before, I'm a Catholic and I believe in the presence of Christ in the Eucharist. And Christ doesn't build walls. He's open and available for everyone. And I'm not a politician and I'm not an expert in politics. But I know that through Christ, I need to be responsible and be aware of what is happening in that country and also in this country. And I know that we need to create new policies to be able to invite those Haitians to our country, to be able to work there, to be able to do what they need to do. But at the same time, we need to be aware of they're coming to the country without any immigration policies. And I know also in this community, we have brothers that came with certain visas that needed to be changed in order to stay in this country. And that's why our brotherhood is beautiful, because we are giving that example. You guys have given me that example, that opportunity to be able to think again and say, wait a minute, we need to be open and help one another. And even our brothers here who are in the process to be completely, not legal, but completely having their legal status with a green card to be able to become citizen of this country. Our province has an openness for others. We do not want to create division. We want our brotherhood to be together. Another thing that is happening with this country, we have a lot of issues with immigration laws and people coming from different places. And my half-sister and my half-brother, they were in Dominican Republic 2 years ago. And now this time in this country, there's a law that is trying to take away the option for parents or other immigrants to bring their stepsons or stepchildren or their parents to this country. They're trying to take that away from us. And I was thinking, if that law had been approved 2 years ago, my half-brother, half-sister, they would have never been able to come to this country. So this is a great gift of this nation, that we are open to others, and we need to fight for what we believe and what we have been open to many people to come to this country. And I know I don't have all the answers, and we don't have all the answers for what is happening at this moment. But I can recognize that we do have an option, that we can find that option in Christ, to gaze upon His attitude, His desires, and His wishes. I know there's a foundation in Texas. It's called Border Angels. And they are creating this circle of friendship between the officers in the borders and people in this country to be able to bring people together. And they open the borders to bring people from the people who are on this side and people who are on the other side to celebrate their birthdays, to see each other one more time. And this is one of the things that I think we can do as a country. And even in Dominican Republic, hopefully something like that can happen, or something beyond borders. Another thing that I noticed, it was last night. I was really happy and joyful when I was having dinner with my brothers. And we were talking about politics. And one of the brothers said, you know, there's a lot of friction, a lot of division between our nation, especially among politicians. And we need to find ways of how to bring them together and to come to talk and to build this nation. And that brought me a lot of joy. And there was no any sense of discomfort when we were talking about politics. And I believe my brothers, through the humility of Christ and through this brotherhood, and humbling ourselves and holding nothing back, we can truly be a family the way we are today. We are truly the greater example for this nation.